GupShup with Gurpreet Sarin. Hello everyone, welcome to another episode of GupShup with Gurpreet Sarin. Joining me today is awesome singer, songwriter, and performer Anjali.
Hi.
Hey Anjali, how's it going?
Good, how are you?
I'm good, thank you for coming on the show.
Thanks for having me.
Of course. We are going to dive in, like I usually do, with the most important question.
Okay.
And this is just how we're going to get the interview started. What is your spirit animal?
Oh, wow. A monkey.
Really?
Yeah.
Tell me more.
I don't have a good reason.
Just a monkey.
Is.
Okay.
Yeah.
I went to India about 5 months ago, and I guess this is a stereotype, but I didn't see any monkeys there, and I was very disappointed about that. Yeah, I know you just came back from India as well. Did you see any monkeys on your trip?
Actually, this time I didn't, but I went to do you know what Red Fort is?
Yeah.
So usually they are around there, like in that area, but
of course.
I didn't see any this time.
I don't know where all the monkeys are.
Yeah, I don't know.
I'm not really sure.
That would have been awesome to see them though.
Yeah, have you seen a monkey live besides the zoo?
Yes.
Really?
But I don't remember where. Wait.
Okay.
I think it was in India at some point. I just don't remember where I was, but yeah.
Very interesting. So you like monkeys, but you don't know why. It's not like a spirit animal connection kind of thing. You just like them as animals.
I think so.
Okay.
So then when people ask me that question, I just say that the monkey is my spirit animal because it's my favorite. Are you allowed to do that?
Say that your favorite animal is your spirit animal.
Is that the same thing?
No, I don't think so. Just because you can have a favorite animal who may not necessarily connect to who you are.
Okay.
But you know what? In this case, we're going to find out more about you. So maybe you are a monkey spirit animal.
Maybe. I think I am.
Okay, I believe that. So let's actually focus on more important questions. Anjali, you are a very passionate and incredible singer, songwriter, and performer. Take me back to the very beginning. How did you get started?
So I started training in Indian classical music when I was 4.
Wow.
Because I think I was my mom used to drive me to daycare when I was 2 or 3.
Okay.
And I'd be in the back seat, in the car seat, singing Titanic.
Oh, yeah.
That was my first song ever. And so she was I need to, sign my kid up for lessons. So I used to I had this, do you know what India school is?
India school. No, is it a school in India?
No, it's just a school here, but they teach you about
Indian
things.
I go to America school. That's right.
All right, yeah, I think it was called that. That was where I first went.
Yeah.
And it was group classes.
Okay.
So I was 4, and everybody else was it was all ages. So some people were 50, and then some were 12, and all.
Yeah, and how old were you?
I was 4 or 5.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
Sure.
And I didn't open my mouth at all. I just sat there and listened, and I think that was, I don't know what I got out of that, but then by the time I was 7, I started formally training individually with a teacher here.
Nice. Yeah.
And she's a ghazal and Sufi singer.
Oh, okay.
So I got really into that music that way, and yeah, I did that all the way until I went to college, and then I started to get more into jazz and R&B. So, but it started when I was really young with Indian classical.
Of course. Do you have any family or friends growing up that were also singers or musicians, or was it more just your passion from India school that got you into music?
I don't even think it was India school.
I gotta Google India
I don't know why I brought that up.
Yeah.
But no, actually, no one in my family is musical.
It's musical, okay.
At all.
Wow.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, because so I come from a musical background, which is why it's easy for people to say, Gurpreet was surrounded by music, therefore it was natural for him to be in its blood. But that's really cool that you don't have a background with music, but it just came. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm trying to think too, my mom used to teach me, what are they called, nursery rhymes and stuff when I was really, really young. I think when a kid is really, really young, ages 0 to 3, that's a very important time.
Sure.
So if you have someone encouraging you to even simple stuff that, I think it probably helped me.
I believe that. So my sister just had a baby 4 months ago, and so my sister and brother-in-law are very musically oriented and talented.
Oh, cool.
And so they just got him a sitar, a very small sitar, and his name is Sangeet. Shout out to Sangeet.
Wow, that's great.
and so they're trying very hard to obviously allow him to experiment with music early on, but it's very cool. I don't know if he's going to play the sitar right now. He's kind of young. I also don't know between the ages of 0 and 2 what kids do. Like I don't know when kids start talking or like when that becomes a thing.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah. We should. Is that common knowledge?
I know nothing about babies yet. But yeah, it's a work in progress for me. That's cool. So you have no background in music, then you got interested at some point.
Yeah.
And your background was with Indian classical music.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yep.
And so what kind of, you said Sufi, ghazals, who are some of your inspirations from that side?
I listened to a lot of Rahat Fateh Ali Khan.
Yeah.
And I used to listen to Abida Parveen
Oh my gosh, yes.
a lot. And like Nusrat because he started everything.
It's a legend, yeah.
Yeah, a lot of. I'm trying to think. Like, there's not that many female ghazal like Sufi singers that come.
Not
to
so
mind,
many.
but
Yeah.
the ones that like a lot of Pakistani ones.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you listen to Coke Studio at all?
Yeah.
Which one do you like better,
Amazing.
Coke Studio India or Pakistan?
I feel like I should say India.
Yeah, no competition. This isn't a political thing. Yeah.
They're both. I don't know. I can't pick.
Sure, but they're very
amazing.
good.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like someone like you would like that because you also do a lot of fusion.
Yep.
And
the
I'm excited.
live element is like so. Yeah.
Yeah.
So cool.
It'd be very cool. I feel like you would enjoy being able to perform or like, I guess, work with them. How does that work? Do you know how you could work with Coke Studio?
No, but no, I'm like super inspired by it though, because like last summer I was working. I work out of a couple different studios, and like I was working with one engineer that's really good at, like he's really passionate about like fusion and like live mixing and stuff like that. So I started this series, which is, I need to continue it, but it's called Confluence DC.
I've heard of Confluence DC, yes.
Cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, and so we started that, I think it was in like June, and like I would bring in and feature one instrumentalist per song, and we would do either like an English song or a Punjabi song or Hindi song and feature like a musician, and then usually it would be like one musician who's trained in Western classical or something, and then one like tabla player. So like we would mix it up, and obviously that's like a very small effort compared to what Coke Studio is. It's
but
like
it's
this
very
whole
similar.
Production, but definitely inspired by that.
I could totally see that. So I know that you being into fusion music, I'm sure you're also inspired by like like Ravi Shankar or like modern day Anushka Shankar, like a Nora Jones style. Do you like currently still listen to like Indian classical artists and musicians?
I mean, I wouldn't say like hardcore classical.
Sure.
Because I think, so this is what happened. I think like that's my base, and there's no, in my opinion, there's no, when you're just listening for music purposes, there's no comparison between that, people who do that, and a little bit more watered down like contemporary Bollywood pop music. There's no competition. But what's interesting is that I think my like goal as an artist is to bring some of the sentiments that you find in this like classical tradition and bring it to younger people, and you have to do that in a more accessible way.
You have to.
So that's why I don't like, I'm not as focused on being like very purely classical these days as much as I am like trying to find creative ways to like.
That makes sense. You mentioned you're also interested in jazz, and I feel like that's very true of jazz as well. Is like the very amazing jazz artists don't penetrate like the mainstream or pop market because it's like a very acquired taste.
And what I've learned too is like there's a huge difference between like if you're a jazz musician or an Indian classical musician and you stay in those two lanes, like those people have no interest in being in, like then there's show business.
Yeah,
that's
it's a completely
totally
different industry.
Thing.
Yes.
So I've like recently, I meet different people and like it's very clear like which one they are, and they don't really want to mix.
That's
like
true.
It's just two different groups.
You went to India recently. There's people in India that are like in these really small villages, and probably some of the best musicians in the world, but they don't have any notoriety or fame, and they're more in it for the passion for music, so they don't care about like marketing themselves a certain way or appealing to like mainstream.
That's awesome too, though. That's a good place to be too.
Yeah, like just amazing musician.
You're just doing it because you love it, and it's different than doing it for other purposes.
Of course. So tell me about why you're doing it. What like you got inspired initially. Was there a certain moment for Anjali where you realize like this is what I want to do, like singing, songwriting, music? That's like this is what I want to do. Was there a certain moment in your life when you made that realization?
Yeah, I think so. I didn't actually start writing until 3 or 4 years ago.
Okay.
And and it sounds weird, but the only reason or the way that I discovered that I could write songs is because like I got like commercial interest from this I'll just say it, like he was trying to maybe manage me. He manages Imagine Dragons.
Oh wow.
And the Killers.
Yes. Okay.
And then there was like a couple other situations where they were like, "Do you have any original music, or whatever?" So I didn't want to tell all these people like I don't write.
Of course.
So,
yeah.
So I wrote a couple songs, and like that's how I started writing, right? And
oh my gosh.
If it wasn't for like those people asking me, I wouldn't have ever like put pen to whatever. So yeah, I think the point where I started taking it more seriously was like at that time, not because of the commercial interest or whatever, but because like, oh, like I actually have something to say.
Yeah.
Like I actually like doing this.
Right.
And so from there, I wrote like a ton of other ones, and so that the writing was really like a turning point.
How wild is that? So the impetus for you was almost like some like really hotshot manager wanted to manage you, and you didn't want to come up as I don't have anything. So you kind of started there, but then when you started, you realized this is actually something you enjoy doing.
Yeah.
How wild. What are some kind of things that, and we'll get into your singles as well, but what are some things you write about, and what are some inspirations you take when you songwrite?
Yeah, I mean, a lot of different things. So I think a few years ago when I wrote like an album's worth of like, my first several were just like all about relationships and stuff like that, standard, whatever. And then I like go back to them sometimes and I listen to them, and it's almost like the meaning is different. Like it's almost like I was writing it to myself, or there's some sort of, you know how in Sufi music it's like the object of like romantic love or whatever is like also, I think it's like related to like longing for the divine.
It's like the spiritual sort of.
Or like a self-reflective thing as well.
Okay.
So I think that might be really deep, but I don't know.
Deep. Yeah.
When I listen to stuff that I wrote that I thought was about another person, I think a lot of it is like me writing to myself and stuff like that. So that, I think recently I'm writing more about like my relationship with like music and like doing it like more seriously, and like whether that's like a good thing for me and like all that. So anything really.
Yeah. Who are some modern day artists that you are inspired by?
Well, Alicia Keys, like huge. Yeah. Shout out to Alicia Keys.
Alicia, if you watch this.
She better watch this.
You know, I don't know how to get Alicia Keys to watch this, but maybe if we say her name 100 times, the YouTube algorithm will kick in and like just contact her.
Yeah. Probably. That'll probably happen.
Yeah.
Right.
Just randomly every minute, throw in Alicia Keys in there. Like, oh man, I gotta get stuff from my car. I lost my Alicia Keys. One way to do that. What DJ Khaled was talking about major Alicia Keys. I'm out. That's all I got.
Yeah.
So Anjali, I know you had a concert recently at the Strathmore, and you were like kind enough to get me and my brother tickets to watch you.
Oh yeah.
And I gotta say, you are an amazing singer and performer.
Thank you.
And you sang the one Alicia Keys song.
Yeah, I did.
Which was it?
It was
No One?
If I Ain't Got You.
If I Ain't Got You, yeah, like a classic Alicia Keys song.
Yeah.
And you were amazing. Like, you're a very good singer, and I could hear the Alicia Keys, the like a little bit of Lauryn Hill influence in there.
True. Yeah. Thank you. Yeah, I listened to her too. I forgot to mention her. Yeah.
That's awesome. Yeah. So you like Alicia Keys, you like Lauryn Hill. Is there one artist that you would love the opportunity to work with?
Yeah. I mean, everybody says Frank Ocean.
Oh.
But I'm not just saying that because everybody says it.
Yeah.
Like, I think his writing and the way he hears things and creates sounds is amazing. Like, that is
Frank dope. Ocean. Yeah, I could totally see that. Because you have like this soul R&B vibe. I researched you, and I know on your Strathmore page you mentioned something about from Ravi Shankar to Sam Cooke.
Okay, so I didn't write that bio.
Who wrote that bio?
Strathmore.
Okay. It's a very like professionally written Did they ask you for your opinion, or did they just come up with something?
What if Strathmore watches this?
Well, we're not going to say their name even once. So
Okay, cool.
The opposite of Alicia Keys' logic.
Wait, you're not gonna cut it though, because you
Definitely no cutting. Strath
Wow.
less, am I right?
Give me a second.
Of course.
Yeah. What did you ask me?
I don't know. Okay, so your bio that was
the
written
bio, yeah,
by
yeah.
Strathmore.
Yeah. They wrote it. Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, they asked for my input.
Yeah.
But like the Sam Cooke to Ravi Shankar, they're both
Incredible
amazing.
artists.
Yeah. I just didn't
Yeah,
contribute that
yeah.
part.
Okay,
Yeah.
so if you could write your own bio, like give me in one sentence, for someone who doesn't know you yet, how would you describe yourself to someone as Anjali the artist?
Yeah, so I really struggle with this because recently I've been trying to figure out how to like write a bio that makes sense for like my American R&B pop music pursuits,
Sure.
but that's gonna be different than
Yeah.
like the Hindi and Punjabi stuff that I do.
Absolutely, yes.
So I mean, I think a really generic way to like sum it up is like finding similarities between these styles. Like both of them are soulful and melodic. So like those are two like big words that I put
Soulful
in my
melodic.
bio.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to get back to you on that.
All right, let me know. Keep me updated.
Yeah.
That is really cool. You also released two singles recently. There was
Yeah.
Love It or Leave It. Tell
Yep.
me about that one. What was the inspiration behind that song?
Oh, so I co-wrote that with someone.
Okay.
She's a really good writer. So yeah, I guess Love It or Leave It, it is like one of the songs that was left over from like the 3 or 4 years ago, that album's worth of music that I was
Wow.
talking about.
Yeah.
So I actually wrote that with her like 3 years ago.
Okay.
And it just now
Wow.
released. Because I just like went through a couple different management situations
Okay.
and I was like figuring out like the best way to release stuff.
Sure.
And then finally I didn't want to like sacrifice or any of my artistic integrity or whatever. So
Absolutely.
it took me 3 years to just like independently release the same song.
Good for you.
But yeah, so I wrote that a while ago. And then my really good friend who's an awesome producer, Jake, he produced that, so
That's awesome.
recently.
Does it happen often where you mentioned you have like years worth of songs, and then I was reading this about Jason Mraz a while back where he has this entire library of songs that he's written,
Yeah.
and he doesn't use them because they don't like match the sentiment of like an EP or album, or maybe in the future, or he trashes a bunch of them. How does
Yeah.
that process work for you?
Yeah, I think so. People used to tell me that like I was in LA briefly like a couple years ago because I was working with some people.
Okay.
And they were like, you just need a ton of music. Like I was kind of making my way into the publishing world, so I'd be like writing for
Sure.
major label pop artists here, like in
course.
the U.S.
Yeah.
So they were like, yeah, you just need to have, like I know people who have like artists who have like 300 songs that are like done,
Wow.
but they have released like 2.
Yeah.
So that's definitely a thing. I don't have 300. I have
Yeah.
a lot though, and I think there is like that process of figuring out like, okay, do I want to release this as a single? Do I want to wait until I have some traction from the single or whatever, or until I feel like releasing this as like an EP or an album? I don't know. So
Gotcha. Yeah.
definitely, yeah.
Do you see yourself more as someone who writes songs for other artists? Like, Anna Neo, I think, might have started off, he was writing for like Mary J. Blige, or Ed Sheeran writes a lot of songs for artists. Do you prefer to write songs for other artists? Are you more of like a singer and performer yourself? Which sort of realm do you go for?
I think I would be down to write for other artists for sure.
Okay.
That has come up in the past. Like I had a couple opportunities to do that, but
Yeah.
yeah, I don't know. I also like singing was the thing that I did first.
Yeah.
So that's like my main thing. Like I've been doing that for like my whole life, like 20 years.
Sure.
And so I think I would definitely want to sing the songs that I write
Yeah.
because I'm just like biased. I'm like, this is my
Yeah,
song.
they're like your
But-
children, so you like created this.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I'd be open to writing for other people.
That's awesome.
Yeah, I've like written recently for, collaborations with other artists. So like I'll write a song, even if it's like with another artist.
Yeah.
I like to do a lot of the concept behind
Of course.
collaboration.
So speaking of collaborations, I know you recently released, and this is a really dope song, "Only Love" with Pav Dharia. What was that process like? Walk me through that entire story.
The story
Of like how you collaborated with him, and then your experience working on that song with him, the response you've gotten.
True. I wrote that song and composed it. I was just like vocals and piano, all in English actually, and I like we had a couple of mutual people, and so that's kind of how we got connected, and then I felt like the voices really matched, and the stylistically it seemed to be a good fit too. So glad it worked out. He's really talented in multiple ways.
Of course.
Yeah. So I think I wrote that song in English, and I was like, hey, this is like an idea for our duet or whatever. And then he kind of took the words that I wrote in English, and the melodies like kept them roughly the same, but like made the song 30 times better because he translated what I wrote into Punjabi and Hindi, and it sounded like, how sometimes when, especially in music, like you can't like directly translate the sentiment in a Punjabi or Hindi lyric
I've tried
into
that.
It's just not the same.
It's not, no.
And so when he did it the other way, I was like, oh.
Because he kept the sentiment, he kept the entire, I used to do that. Yeah, in high school I used to take Punjabi songs and then try to translate them to English, and they sounded like parody versions of like a Daler Mehndi song. It didn't work out.
It doesn't work.
But that's the one thing I noticed about like the Only Love song with you and Pav Dharia is that like the sentiment of those songs remained the same, the emotions remained the same, the storyline continued forward. Yeah,
and I think it's interesting too because I wrote it as like I wrote it in English and I thought it was like a pop melody or whatever, but then when he took that sentiment and put it into Punjabi and then also kept the melody similar, I was like, oh wait, like maybe a lot of this stuff that I create in English is actually like really informed by my background.
Sure.
Because then when he did that, I was like, okay.
Yeah.
Wow.
It wasn't like a pop song. It was this nice, like sort of like a slow romantic sort of acoustic style.
Yeah.
That is awesome. And what has the response been from, I guess, like the urban Asian community or like just communities in general? What do people think of it?
I think I think it's very different than what has been done before. So,
I agree.
And both of us like knew that. And I didn't like, I was familiar with the urban Desi scene, but like, I guess I spent more time focusing on the R&B and pop stuff like a little bit earlier. So this was like my first like, one of my first like forays like into this like world. But it seems like people appreciate like the composition and like it's just so different for them that but I think that we can do more like that. Like I think this is just the beginning. It's like a different genre.
It is, and I'm excited to see what else you have coming up. I think the urban Desi scene is interesting because when I was in like high school, college, like the whole RDB, Jazzy B used to do some experimentation, but like RDB, then like Jay Sean came, Raghav, then like Mickey Singh, like a bunch of those came afterwards. But then that became sort of like the R&B, like Bhangra mix, and now we're sort of approaching this like you can do like John Legend style, soulful Punjabi.
Yeah, exactly.
And if you watch your YouTube videos, I know you also sing in Punjabi and Hindi as well. Do you see yourself going more into like the urban Asian, urban Desi scene, or like stay more American?
That's a good question. People keep asking me that. I don't know. I think a lot of artists, and this has happened to me before too, are like pressured kind of to like pick, like I want to be an R&B artist.
You have to like
I'm not
label
going to talk
yourself
about the fact that I'm Indian. Like I'm just going to be this person doing R&B. That didn't work for me because it's such that the Hindi and Punjabi music is like a huge part of me. So that didn't work. I think urban Desi offers a space that like where this weird hybrid of a person like me is welcome.
Yeah, absolutely,
Because actually in India and Bollywood, they're really looking for people like, if you want to pitch for a film or something, like I've been told like, okay, you can't have like any English accent. Like they're really big on like that. So it's hard to just fit into one or the other because I'm not only Indian or like only American. So urban Desi is definitely really cool. Like niche to like really experiment in for now, I think, because
Yeah.
they're awesome artists and they like get what I'm doing.
They understand you, and you can feel
get it.
comfortable in
Yeah.
that environment. Speaking of Bollywood, so Bollywood has also gone through some transformations as well.
True.
You mentioned you're interested in like Rahat Fateh or like
Yeah,
Arijit does like Hindi, but then they started doing more pop music,
For
and
sure.
he adds like riffs here and there.
Yep.
But he never like sings in like English.
Yeah.
Do you see yourself at any point doing or being interested in doing Bollywood music for films?
For sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's hard to figure out like a straight path
Sure.
to that, especially being here because
Yeah.
it's so far away. But for sure,
Yeah.
that'd be awesome.
How do you think that your like artistry or music has evolved? Like maybe when you were in high school, college, to where you are now.
True. I keep saying true because I'm like, wow, that's okay. So in high school, I didn't like sing in front of anyone.
Wow.
I was like so shy. Yeah, I was so shy to sing in front of anyone. Like I did a couple like performances
Yeah.
publicly, but I just like I was like so scared all the way until like halfway through college.
This is so wild. Okay.
Yeah, so I'd say it's
That's
evolved
incredible.
a lot. 'Cause
Yeah.
I perform like 3-4 times a week now.
Yeah. Wow. Okay. So
yeah.
for anyone who's listening and interested, how do you get over stage fright? Like, what did you do to get?
I still have it.
Okay.
Like I don't
really?
think it, yeah.
Yeah.
Does it go away? I don't know.
Yeah. I don't know.
Yeah.
Let's poll the audience. Does it go? I still have. I have stage fright too. I think. It's not as bad as some people. I know people that like throw up. Like before they perform.
Wow.
Like some of the best people will like throw up.
I'm sure. Yeah.
And maybe it's a way to like get the butterflies out. I
Yeah.
still feel nervous. I don't think it's like if you're a professional you can't feel nervous.
Yeah.
Or have stage fright. But you going from not singing at all in front of people or very little to performing 3 or 4 times like a week.
Yeah.
Like how did you do that?
I think it's like I'll do one and then I'll be like, oh, that was really scary, or I'll be really scared at the beginning, and then like after 1 or 2 songs I'll like settle a little bit, and so then it'll be like more fun for me to be up there, and I'll be like, okay, I'm here to like share something, not like
Yes.
prove something.
They're here to listen. Yeah.
Yeah, or like get people's approval. That's not like what it's about.
Sure.
And so I think that helps me, and then also just making myself do it more. Like if you do it once, twice, 3 times, it's like let me do it 4, 5, 6. Because I think just like doing it time
Yeah.
and time again like makes it easier.
Sure.
Just getting comfortable. So it's just like disciplining.
Yeah, I like that. And I agree. I think that because I perform, but even if I host and do other things, the worst thing, like what's the worst thing that's going to happen? It's not like maybe someone will throw a tomato at you, but you're not going to like, a car is not going to come on stage and like run you over. Like it can't be that bad. So you survive, and then you realize, okay, I'm still alive, or people are clapping,
Right.
or you see one person smiling or being inspired.
Right.
And
as
then-
long as you
yeah.
like help 1 or 2 people,
Yeah.
I think that's like what it's all about.
Anjali, how do you define success?
These are so deep.
I
It's
know.
okay, I got deep too.
Yeah, I'm throwing in like the tomato and then like randomly success. So,
Yeah.
oh, by the way, we've been like 20-ish minutes, so Alicia keys. Okay,
Right,
so I can't forget that. How do you define success?
So I think a couple years ago, I used to think that success was like getting this placement or this deal or
Yeah.
like this way to like move forward in like tangible ways in a music career or something. But now I think success is like even when I just like write a song or like I'm in the studio and my friend makes a beat and like we make something cool, that's success because it's like we had a good time doing that and
Yeah.
it like manifested into this thing that people can hear now. So I think it's just success is just enjoying what you're doing, definitely having some sort of meaning behind what you're doing. Like it can't just be like, for me at least, like self-glorification, like, oh, I want to be famous. Like I don't
know.
think that's like
No.
I don't think that's what success is,
No,
because
yeah.
you really have to like figure out what your why is.
Yeah.
So I think being happy with what you're doing and doing it for the right reasons.
Okay,
Yeah.
I like that. Describe your studio environment. Do you have like your own studio setup? Do you go to different studios? What kind of studio do you like?
I have like a little home studio
Okay.
which is cool. And then I work out of one. It's like right outside DC. It's called House Studios.
I've heard of that. Yeah.
Cool.
Okay.
And so yeah, like my friend Jake is just like a really dope producer. So I go there and we just like recently. I actually only met him the end of last year.
Okay.
So, yeah. So I've been going there, but it's like I like it.
Nice. That's awesome. Before you perform, do you have any kind of like pre-show rituals or pre-show things like, okay, Anjali, this is time to do it. No one's going to throw a tomato at me. I'm going to be amazing as always. Channel Alicia Keys. What do you do before you perform?
Sometimes like you do have to channel Alicia Keys. I feel like I think I did that at the show you were at.
That was wild.
For like the first song, I was like, okay, last time I was Anjali. Today I have to like.
Yeah, today I'm Alicia Keys.
Yeah, and it helps a little bit because if you don't feel like you're yourself, because I'm like, oh, I'm Anjali, whatever. Like, and then I can't be that weird person. Like, I have to be Alicia Keys.
You got to put on some kind of
So sometimes I try to like pretend I'm another person. Sometimes I just kind of like need to be by myself. Like if I'm performing with a band, like, and they're all getting ready to go on, I'll have to like run away and like go into a corner and just like close my eyes for a second.
People are like, what is she doing? She's practicing before the show in the middle of a corner. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
And going back to the Strathmore performance. That was my first time hearing you live, and I gotta say, sometimes singers or artists will like purposefully do things to show off how good they are. But for you, it was like, I feel like the riffs that you threw in there, you were actually feeling, or like they added to the song, or like your sentiment behind the song. So you're like obviously a very good singer and performer. You also had, of course, and you also had some like really cool artists. Those are all like your Strathmore colleagues?
So 3 of them that day are, no, 4. Sorry, literally all of them.
The entire band, okay.
Yeah, so a couple of them are in the program right now.
Okay.
But actually all of them have been in it at some point or another.
Man.
So they're all affiliated.
And was that your like graduation performance or something? Because I remember
from the program, kind of.
Yeah, tell me about the program. How'd you get into it?
My friend is like an Indian classical violinist, Nishtha Raj.
Nishtha Raj, yeah. Okay.
Yeah,
I've seen her perform in DC.
Yeah, she's amazing.
Yeah.
So she did the program a couple years ago and like told me that it would be good for me to do it. So I applied. You have to like audition and go through a couple different things. So I did that and then met a lot of incredible musicians who played
like the
with me
people
that day.
Yeah. It's incredible. Do you see yourself staying, because music, I think with technology nowadays can be done anywhere, but there are certain hubs in like America where music is really big. There's like the New York, LA. Do you see yourself moving there to pursue music further?
So I used to go to New York like 2 times a month, or at least like once a month, for different things like creative visual stuff, or just like there's a lot of people who are doing it there. There's more industry there, if that makes sense. Like there's like some of the label offices are there, like things like that, and then in LA too. And I've been to LA a couple times, so I used to think that I wanted to like move where the industry was, but I think because nowadays like content is key, and like me and Pav, like he lives in Australia.
He is in Australia.
So
he's very far away. Yeah.
We just made that song between the 2 of us.
Yeah.
Like no one else is
there
involved.
Right. Yeah.
So because like there's a platform, and then there's social media, and I write, and then we both like can make music. So I don't think you need to be in a specific city or something to like pursue music a lot. I think New York is close enough that sometimes if I need to go there,
drive up there.
Yeah. But yeah, content can really, and then there's so much talent in DC too. Like that's the thing. Like there's not an industry mentality for music here, but a lot of talent. So like where there's talent, you can have content that's really good.
Absolutely.
And yeah.
I love it. And you're right, Pav Dharia is in Australia.
Yeah.
I actually didn't know that until I Googled it. But yeah, I mean, if he's able to make moves in that sort of scene, being all the way over there, then it's definitely possible.
He knows what's up.
He knows what's up, yeah. You mentioned the importance of social media. Talk me through like your relationship with social media, how you like market yourself or use social media for your brand?
Yeah.
Social media is wild, but how does it go for you?
I think so. I think a lot of people have been using like YouTube forever. Like I feel like a lot of the big YouTube people, like not all of them, but like a lot of them started at a time when like YouTube was starting.
Sure.
So like I actually put my first YouTube video up in 2014, so kind of like late to the game.
A little, yeah.
There's like nothing on the internet of me singing before 2014.
Man.
So yeah, I think it was 2014. It must have been, yeah. So I think it's really YouTube. That it's kind of oversaturated now. Like it's hard to. There's so many talented people. Like it's hard to find whatever. But I mean, social media is a great way to like carve out like a little space for you to just like show people or share with people what you're doing. So in that way, it's really amazing. I think it's also important to not feel like sometimes people say like, oh, you have to post content like for the sake of being consistent, versus like if it's like if you actually really want to share that piece of content. So that part is like, I don't know. I think there's a balance. Like sometimes it's like, well, I'm just wearing sweatpants. Like I don't have any content. Like I don't. But
like having to force yourself to put content out there. Sure. Yeah.
But it's definitely like now it's like a new age, right? Because before you used to have to go through like labels to accomplish anything, and now it's like you can go directly to like your base, right?
That's true. Yeah.
So I mean, yeah, it's awesome.
That is dope.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I've seen some of your YouTube videos where you sing. I'm forgetting which covers. I've heard a bunch of your covers. It's like a cool setup where it's just you, and then there's like the microphone, and you're kind of just singing cover songs. When YouTube started, I feel like cover songs are really big. But the problem with that is that then you become known as like a cover artist.
Right.
And then if someone asks you to perform, then you're just performing other people's songs. So you don't get to build your own artistry.
That is so true. Yeah, I think I get really bored with covers now because like I write my own music and then I just like want to finish that so I can share that with people because it's my song.
Yeah.
So yeah, the cover thing, that's like a good way to like, I mean, covering popular people's songs is like a great way to get your name out and brand out. But yeah, I definitely like want to perform my own stuff.
And I was going through the Only Love like video. So obviously you guys didn't meet up for that.
No, we did.
Oh, you did?
Everybody thinks that because all the frames that had both of us in them just like turned out like sometimes the lighting was weird or whatever. So none of those made it into the final video. So everyone thinks that we just like shot it separately, like, oh, he's in Australia shooting this in this weird mansion.
Well, I thought it was like this Jason Mraz, Colby Calais kind of thing where it's like they're separate coasts or something, and it was like meant to be like that. So you were in the same...
Good, let's just go with that.
Yeah. Wait, okay, no, we're not gonna just... hold on. So where was it shot?
It was actually shot at Strathmore.
I called. I told my brother that. I was like, I've seen this place before. Yeah.
So you saw him in the mansion then, right?
But I guess I didn't pay attention.
Okay.
Because you guys weren't in a frame together.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. Man, okay.
Yeah. Yeah. No, but he came. He was here for 2 days.
That's awesome.
So
Okay. Yeah. Are you working on any other projects with Pav Dharia or like other artists that you're allowed to reveal right now?
I don't know if I should reveal them because it might be premature. But yeah, with him, I mean, like, I think that he's talented and like we make a good team.
Sure. I think so also. Yeah.
Thanks.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, but in that video itself, I was scrolling down, and it's not even creepy. This is just like research, and people were like, "Oh, she kind of sounds like Ariana Grande, or she's got this sort of style." When people compare you to like a really big pop artist, I imagine it's flattering.
Yeah, she's amazing.
Yeah, it's but like, I guess it's also hard when you're like starting up in the industry where you want to be different. And like recognized at the same time. What is that feeling like?
I think when there's a newcomer, at least this is what I've like heard. Like it's like inevitable that like you'll be compared to like someone who's already a household name, which is not a bad thing. I mean, people naturally like box people in. So I mean, that's a huge compliment. Like she's amazing. So I love her music.
Yeah. If you could listen to one song for the rest of your life. only one song ever for the rest of your life, which song would you choose and why?
That is so hard.
It is difficult.
What about you?
Oh man. See, I usually ask these questions because I don't have a difficult time answering them.
Yeah.
If I could listen to one song for the rest of my life, it would probably be this one song by, she's a girl from DC. Kind of sounds like Ariana Grande. It's called Only Love. Check it out on Spotify. No, actually, I don't know. For a while, I used to say like Bob Marley.
Okay.
Like a One Love. Oh, One Love instead of Only Love. Or maybe like a like something by like Frank Sinatra.
Yeah.
Or like Georgia on My Mind by Ray Charles.
That is a good one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like I would say one of those, but it's challenging because how can you listen to just one? But you have to. If one
Just
song,
one.
what would you do?
I mean, there's this one song by Etta James. It's called I'd Rather Go Blind.
Oh yeah. Oh, I love that song.
And I've just been singing it for like 10 years.
Yeah.
Like, so I guess
It's a great song.
that's a great, yeah.
And
guess it'd be
you
that
sang
one.
that for the concert as well, I think, right?
Did I do it that
I don't know. I saw your like song list, and it also said like Diljit Dosanjh. Like
yeah, it was such a varied list. It was like
it was all over the place. When you perform, how do you choose like your set list of songs to sing for a specific performance?
sometimes I do it based on like the type of gig, right? So like if the audience is like older, I know that they'll appreciate like stuff that's more rooted in classical or like folk or like jazz.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah.
Older audiences.
Sure.
Younger ones, like I really like to do mashups. Like so I like to do my own music and then I like to do like some R&B covers and
Yeah.
then I like to be like, hey, this is how you can like literally combine like an R&B song with a chord structure of like a Punjabi song.
And
by
it blows people's
Diljit.
minds. Yeah, it blows
Yeah.
people's minds. Yeah.
So I did a lot of that day.
Yeah.
I think that was the day you were there.
So my brother and I came a little late, and we were shocked when we saw like Diljit on there because we're like, oh, we'd love to
That
hear
was
your.
the most fun song of the set.
Darn
Wow.
it! It's okay. All the money I'm building for my YouTube channel, I'm going to use to fund a
Cool.
a time machine,
All right.
and then go back in time to listen to
I
that
can just,
specific.
it's on you. It's on my Instagram.
Go to Anjali's Instagram and check out that performance. But yeah, Diljit is like now doing more like urban stuff as well with like Jind Mahi. Yeah.
So like when I heard the beat of that song, for example, it reminded me of like an LMA song.
Oh.
And then that's why I
Okay.
did both of them together.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That is dope. But I know the feeling of you're basically performing based on who the audience is. I used to play at like Potbelly, like coffee shops, and whenever these like teenage girls would come in, I'd pull out my like Justin Bieber songs.
Oh wow.
And then when like an older crowd would come in, I'd pull in like the Ray Charles or like
Yeah.
Billie Holiday kind of stuff. So I can see that. Yeah.
I feel like you have to do that because like sometimes you'll have like yesterday I just like experimented with something, but it was like a really old crowd, and I did like a contemporary R&B song, and they were just like, oh, it's. I mean, it's not like it reacted negatively. It's just like they're not used. They're like, what is that?
They're not used to. Yeah.
It's like they can't relate. So you definitely have to read your audience.
That makes sense. What's your most memorable performance?
Oh, in 2016, I performed with this jazz fusion guitarist, Stanley Jordan.
Okay.
Do you know who that is?
I do not, no.
Yeah, so he was like pretty big in the 80s.
Okay.
He's just like a genius. I don't know. That performance was like, that was incredible.
Really?
Yeah. He like invited me on stage at like the last minute. He's like pretty well known in jazz.
Okay.
So I was like, oh my God, Stanley Jordan, like for
That's
people
huge.
who know who that is.
Sure, yeah.
And yeah, just the feel was so good, and it just like, yeah, super memorable.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah. And you also play, do you play any instruments? You play piano?
Yeah, a little bit, yeah.
Yeah.
I play, but then I don't like play a lot. I don't accompany myself a lot live. I think I'm going to start doing that though.
Yeah.
Because like, why not? I just haven't done it yet.
Yeah, yeah.
I do it like in covers and stuff. I just like at home. I
Sure.
just don't do it like in shows.
Is
but
there like a specific reason why, or you just
I think
haven't?
it's like a comfort thing.
Okay.
It's like I think so Stage Fright, right?
Yeah.
So it's like, oh wait, like let me make sure I can sing first, and then like now that I've gotten that on lock, because
Yeah.
I've been doing it a lot the last couple months, now I can like bring in these other. It's like harder to do multiple things when you're nervous, right?
Sure.
But I think I'm getting there. Like I think I can start incorporating that into my live show.
That makes sense. When I first picked up guitar, so the first guitar I ever picked up was this like $70 guitar my dad got from like Sam's Club or something, and it was collecting dust for like 4 or 5 years. But for me, it was.
Is it that?
No, this is a little bit more expensive nylon string guitar. But we might feature that today on IGTV when Anjali sings, so they're dope. Alicia keys, style voice. But yeah, I think for me sometimes the image was I'm gonna stand and like or sit and have the guitar and sing and maybe like strum a chord or something.
Yeah.
But I wasn't really doing justice to the instrument.
Yeah.
And I've noticed even with like, you're just making sure it's clipped.
Yeah, I didn't know. Yeah.
Okay, cool. Audio good, everything dope. I've noticed a lot with like Bollywood artists. I think I saw like a video of Jazzy B, or even like, I guess Arijit does play, but like Jazzy B was holding the guitar and he was singing, but I don't think he was actually playing it.
Oh.
But they were trying to create an image of,
People do that.
he's a rock star, but
Yeah.
I don't know if he was actually playing the instrument.
That sucks.
Yeah, yeah.
I feel like Bollywood is fake in that way. Like more fake.
As in
lip
like for the
singing.
image.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, everybody's fake, but
Yeah.
they're like more fake.
What's
Just
your,
kidding, I
what's
love
your what's your zodiac sign?
Virgo.
Dope.
Yeah.
I'm like a Leo Virgo cusp.
Is that real? Can you be on the cusp? I thought it
Like
was
like a day or two here and there,
okay,
you know.
okay.
Do you think I think zodiac signs are bullshit. But do you think that you like mirror the qualities associated with a Virgo?
Yeah, I think so.
Really?
I think they're like very, like, strong-headed and like perfectionists.
Okay.
Kind of. That in that sense, I feel like I am.
Yeah.
Do you know anything else about Virgos? Like I don't even know.
They're apparently shy, or like.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm shy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But when you come on stage, you like channel like your inner Leo or something.
Did you think I was shy that day?
So okay, while performing, no,
Okay.
because you were like rocking the stage, and then you were interacting with people and you were singing. When I met you afterwards, and I don't know if this is because like 300 people were coming and talking to you.
Oh, okay.
But you were like more professional and more like, hi, I'm Anjali Taneja. Thank you so much. I look forward to seeing you or something.
I didn't do that.
Classic Virgo move.
Wow. All right. Fair.
And it's not a bad thing. It's a good thing.
Cool. No, I am shy though. Like,
Yeah.
That's my nature. That's why I didn't sing in front of anyone until like 4 years ago,
Of course.
5 years ago.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it also helps because you're amazing and people know you're good. So, like, you're not fishing for compliments, but when you see that you actually have talent, then it's like this self-fulfilling prophecy, and then you get encouraged to continue and keep going. I know, like, on your Instagram, you've also gotten good reviews from people like Brown Girl Magazine and like all these different big communities that are trying to support you.
Yeah.
How does that feel?
No, that it's awesome. I mean, like I didn't even. I think when I first learned about Brown Girl Magazine, like that stuff is really a lot of just seeing outlets like this has really like applied a lot of meaning to what I'm doing and
Sure.
like making it more fun for me because it's like there is a community of like South Asian women, girls who are born and raised here or like outside of India, so like NRI, right? That really just want to uplift like people doing stuff like them, and
Absolutely.
so that's like it's really cool to see. Like the people who are doing that are amazing.
Yeah, it's like really inspiring stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, and the fact that they're supporting you, and then now you feel like you're a part of a bigger community.
Yeah,
That's really dope.
And there's also like a meaning there too. And what I mean by that is like, at least growing up here, it's like you're exposed to like you go to school with people who not everybody's Indian. Like I went to school with like all different types of people, right?
Sure.
So sometimes like I feel like people feel like they have to be like this group or that group, but they're not really either, right?
Yeah.
So I think when you see, for me, like South Asian women born and raised abroad who have this community, it's like, oh, there's people like me, you know? Especially if you didn't go to schools where you've had a lot of Indian people.
Of course.
With you, Punjabi people even less common sometimes.
Absolutely.
So in my case, so yeah.
Yeah. Growing up, you went to like India school, but now it's like, like you actually have this urban American or urban Asian Desi whatever scene where because you're right. That's like one of the challenges we have is like sometimes immigrants or kids of immigrants is we don't belong in one way or the other way. We're kind of like this weird
And then you try
mix.
to fit. I feel like you try to fit. Like a lot of the time, I was doing R&B, but I was like, okay, that means I have to do it exactly like this,
Like
and
an
like
R&B artist.
look like this, and like listen to these people. And but I'm not
You're
those
not.
people.
You
Like,
can't
I'm
neglect that
not.
part
Look
of you.
at me. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
That's awesome. That's really cool.
Yeah.
What is your if you could describe your brand in like one word, how would you describe it?
Wow. My brand in one word.
One word.
How would you describe it?
Anjali's brand in one word?
Yeah.
Oh man, this is it's a test of how much research I've done and how much I know you.
Okay.
All right, let's say the same word. Let's say a word at the same time. I'm gonna count down 3, 2, 1.
Wait, I need like a minute.
All right. I'll give you 10 seconds.
I'm struggling. Okay, I got
All right,
it.
so I'm gonna count down 3, 2, 1.
It's really dumb.
Okay. Thank you. Ready? 3, 2, 1.
Fresh.
Dope.
Oh, that's so similar.
Dope
Wait.
and fresh.
Wow. Thank you.
Of course.
Yeah.
We're on the same wavelength.
That's awesome.
Yeah, that is actually
Like
really
fresh
cool.
and dope are like so they're synonymous.
They're synonymous.
Yeah. Wow, I'm really proud of us.
I think so. I think we've accomplished a lot. We've grown a lot.
This is awesome.
This is really cool.
Yeah, I thought you were gonna say like something totally different.
I was gonna say Alicia Keys, and then I was gonna say like Colgate, which is also fresh.
Colgate. Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, I don't.
Wait,
think,
why Colgate?
I don't know.
Okay, cool.
I don't know yet.
Yeah.
But that's cool. So you channel like certain artists when you're performing. Do you? What are some like upcoming performances you have?
Right now I'm doing a lot of I'm doing like there's a lot of like political stuff.
Yeah.
Because we live in DC, which
You
is cool
mentioned
because
that.
there's like really dope people who go to those.
Sure.
But I do have like I got approached by someone who wanted to like sponsor a Kennedy Center Millennium Stage
Oh, that's dope. Yeah.
show.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
I don't know the date of that yet,
Okay.
but that's like the next
Yeah.
big one.
So you mentioned that a hotshot manager had reached out with the hopes of managing you. Are you
That
currently?
happens.
Yeah. Are you currently like freelance? Do you have like management? Are you looking to actually pursue management?
Yeah, so I actually had, he was the first person who ever kind of like indicated to me that like I need to have original music and like you need to have visuals that are a certain way and like there's a whole way to do this, right? I didn't know that before. And then after that, I was managed by other people who work with a lot of like household name pop people. And they were cool and they're very well connected. They're in LA. But I just didn't think the timing was right for me.
Okay.
Like, I was working at the time. I was right out of college.
Okay.
I mean, it's only like a year ago. But yeah, I just like, I don't know. I don't feel like I need a manager right now. Like I have people who help me with certain things.
Sure.
But I think like I can manage. I like to manage myself because I just like, I like to be in control. It's like my music, you know?
Yeah, makes
and
sense.
I feel like no one I've worked with like really, and wonderful people have helped me like with stuff and make strides and stuff, but like I just feel like no one understands like at this moment like how important this music is to me, right? So in order to have, I think, like a manager who manages like all these different aspects of you, they have to like really get like your music.
Yeah.
And I'm maybe that person's out there, but I think it's more of like I would have to find the right person rather
Sure.
than just like, hey, I need a manager, like. So.
Right. So it's like you, because no one knows you as well as you know yourself. So you
Yeah.
can find someone there that can do that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
So I mean, I've met like really cool people recently, and I would definitely consider working with them in that way, right?
Sure.
But I think now that I've learned from a couple managers like how things work, I would know like where I would want them to be involved,
Right.
and like where I wouldn't want them to be involved, and just like that comes from experience too.
Okay.
So yeah.
Yeah. Are you also inspired by, obviously Bollywood does, like every Bollywood movie has songs in it, but
Yeah.
American movies sometimes have songs Sometimes they're like musicals, or sometimes they're theatrical performances.
Yeah.
Do you also do you also like movies that have music? And if so, what kind of movies do you watch?
Do a lot of American movies have?
They have like background soundtracks, but not like not as much as Bollywood.
Yeah.
But yeah, like have you seen the most recent like Lady Gaga or like Bradley Cooper movie?
Oh yeah, that was good. Yeah. Or like I don't know how I feel about the movie, but like I like that there was a lot of music in it.
Same.
She sounded great in that movie.
Yeah.
Yeah. So what was the question? Do I like movies?
Like do you gravitate towards movies that have good music because you like are interested in music?
Yeah, I think so. I think like the movies that are about like have you seen Secret Superstar? It's an Indian movie.
Secret Superstar.
Yeah.
No,
Okay.
but I'm pretty sure my fiance has. Yeah.
Yeah, the movies that are kind of like about a person trying to
achieve.
I like watching those. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
I can worry about them for a bit and not myself.
Like La La Land, which is like.
Yeah, that was cool.
Yeah, it's a cool idea. Okay, so this is not a job interview, obviously, but like, where do you see yourself?
I thought it was. You should have told me that 45 minutes
ago. I don't have like okay. Well, tell me more about your experience in this. Where do you see yourself in like, I don't know, 5 years or 10 years, or like when you like have achieved what you think is like, I think I'm here. Like I got this. Yeah. Where do you see yourself?
Yeah, I think like. I would want to. So what I'm kind of doing, it's interesting because there's not a ton of role models for that niche, like combining all these things, Coke Studio, whatever.
Sure.
Like A.R. Rahman is like a huge idol of mine, right? Because
Amazing.
not only can he like sing a bit or write a bit or play a bunch of it, like he has a vision for how he wants his show to be, or like a score for like a movie. So I would want to do. So like I obviously would want to collaborate with like a lot of cool Punjabi, Bollywood, and R&B artists, but as a singer and a writer.
Sure.
But also really figuring out how to have a content stream or like a movement that is like larger than like myself, like larger than just like me as a singer, whatever that looks like. Scoring for movies, maybe like touring.
Yeah,
I really want to do that, and having like really awesome a live element to that with like, because now a lot of people use like a DJ, but I think I would want like a combination of electronic stuff and live instrumentation.
Of course.
So all of that, yeah.
Yeah, and we mentioned Coke Studio at the beginning of this thing, which is I think really cool because there's been, I forget which one it was, but there was one with like A.R. Rahman, and but yeah, he like the entire like production. You could tell like he was playing piano, but like every single person plays such an important role, and you can tell that it was all so cohesive and worked so well together.
Yeah.
That is a movement.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I think there's a lot of. He's like, I don't know that many people who are doing, like he has accomplished so much, but if I could just definitely compose for stuff.
Yeah.
Write, and alongside me, like touring as a performer.
Performing as an artist, yeah.
Like that's something that I want to do.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Honestly, where can everyone watching and listening find you?
Instagram.
Not like where you live, but yeah.
Oh, 21, just kidding. Instagram is like where a lot of my stuff is, at Anjali X Music.
Anjali X Music.
Yeah.
And then do you have other, like do you use Facebook or YouTube, I guess you use as well?
Yeah, my handle's the same everywhere, Anjali X Music. And then YouTube, you can just search Anjali Taneja. It's just my full name.
Awesome. And then final question, I do this poll with everyone. Snapchat or Instagram?
Instagram.
100%. I know like with Kylie Jenner and Rihanna, stocks have gone down for Snapchat. I don't think I have that kind of clout or power.
Yeah.
My goal isn't to make Snapchat die. Yet. But that's awesome. Anjali, thank you so much for joining me today. It's been a pleasure chatting with you. And I look forward to jam with you on IGTV.
Cool.
So everyone tuning in, make sure you check out the IGTV. Anyway, Anjali X Music, thank you for joining in.
Thank you for
everyone watching and listening, thank you for tuning in to another episode of GupShup with Gurpreet Sarin. I will see you again next Wednesday.
Cool.
Hey there. Thank you for tuning in to another episode of GupShup with Gurpreet Sarin. If you enjoyed this episode, make sure to like, subscribe, and comment on YouTube. If you don't like watching things and want to listen instead, there is Apple, Google, and Spotify podcasts, so make sure to check me out there. And don't forget the most important feature, IGTV, where we have some cool interactive stuff with me and my guests. And if you like my outfit, check it out. Parna Boys, PARNABOYZ. Got some really dope gear. Thank you, Parna Boys, for giving this to me. If you guys want to check it out, go to Instagram at Parna Boys and then also their website, parnaboys.com. Anyway, thank you again for tuning in. I will see you again next Wednesday.